with me and let's imagine what it will be like when you completely trust yourself to follow through and finally make your big goals a reality. Now, I know you already have some resistance to this because right now you're looking around and it feels like you're barely following through on anything. I mean, every day you're telling yourself you're going to write 500 words, or you're going to go for a walk, or you're going to post on social media. The tasks will vary, of course, depending on what your goals are. But you're telling yourself that today's the day. You're definitely going to get this done and you'll be on the path to finally making progress. And then you're just on your phone playing a game, or you suddenly find yourself cleaning and reorganizing the junk drawer, or you get started, but every single word feels like a struggle. So you pack it in and you tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Or you can't really decide on how far you're going to walk or what route you want to take. So you cut it short and tell yourself that next time you'll plan ahead better. Or you deliberate every single word of your caption and keep scrolling to look for inspiration until you're not really paying attention anymore. You're just watching celebrity plastic surgery videos. So, you made an effort, but you still didn't quite complete the task you set out to do. And listen, no judgment here. Those examples were 100% from my own life on my path to getting my big goals. I know what this feels like because I've been in your shoes. There have been dozens of times in my life where I've been this close to just giving up on my goals because I didn't trust myself to follow through. I legitimately thought that I was a procrastinator who was doomed to, not failure exactly, that's too dramatic, but I definitely thought I was doomed to living the life of constant low-grade frustration of knowing I could do more, but not actually doing it. Before I figured out how to follow through, because I did figure it out, I'm going to tell you exactly how in just a minute here, but before I figured it out, I felt desperate to get my goals. Every day I'd wake up and make this huge to-do list because I wanted to write a best-selling book. I wanted to run a Boston qualifying marathon. I wanted to have a 6-figure business. I wanted to make peace with my menopausal body, and I wanted to do all of this while navigating some pretty big losses in my life. And then I'd spend the whole day doing basically nothing that I had intended to do, but somehow I still felt like I'd been busy all day. So then I would start heaping on the judgment and the guilt and the frustration. And from there, I'd head over to YouTube looking for productivity hacks, or Amazon to buy another planner or another calendar or another habit tracking system, none of which worked for me, by the way. So if you've got drawers full of calendars with 2 entries and notebooks with a couple of pages filled out and then abandoned, yeah, me too. Because here's why. Planners and systems and hacks that focus on your habits, your actions, they're not getting to the root of the problem, which is honestly just simple biology. Your brain is hardwired to stay the same. It's literally a biological imperative for you to think the same thoughts, feel the same feelings, and do the same things. This is why when you ask yourself to do something new, something different, something that's going to get you to your goal, your brain's like, nah, and then you don't follow through. You're not a procrastinator. You're just a human being with a human brain. But here's the good news. You can follow through without using willpower because it's also a biological imperative to change when acted upon in a specific way. Now, what's the specific way? Well, I call it the Daily 3. It's a 5-minute daily journaling framework that rewires your brain in 3 ways that help you overcome your brain's natural tendencies so you can follow through and finally get your big goals. Here are the 3 things you're up against that are causing you to procrastinate and not make progress. First up is prediction bias. This means that your brain will always predict your future to be exactly like your past. And then from that prediction, it will create the same results over and over. Now, obviously, this is a problem if you want your future to be different than your past. Next is emotional resonance bias, which means that your brain will keep telling you old stories about your limitations and what's available to you and what you're capable of, Not because the stories are true, but because they create strong emotions. This is what keeps you stuck and spinning in circles instead of getting forward momentum. And finally is a combination of negativity bias and confirmation bias, which means that your brain will keep telling you what you already believe, especially if it's bad news. This is why even when the scale is moving down, you'll think to yourself, well, I'm not really losing weight. Or when you've got dozens of pages written, you're still telling yourself, I'm never really going to finish this book. Your brain has biases that make it prone to staying the same. But you can rewire your brain with the Daily 3 so that you can follow through on the things that you want to be doing and finally get your goal. Now, I have a free masterclass. There's a link in the description box below that explains how the Daily 3 works and how to do it. So you're going to want to go watch that so that you can get started today. When you implement the Daily 3, you'll notice almost immediately how different it feels from the pressure that you've been putting on yourself with that long to-do list that you've kind of always known you weren't really going to finish. Instead of demanding productivity from yourself and then beating yourself up when you don't get everything done, you'll feel really at peace with what you're doing. You know, back at the beginning of this video, I asked you to imagine what it will be like when you completely trust yourself to follow through and finally make your big goals a reality. And the truth of it is, there are already habits you have that you completely trust yourself to do every day, no matter what. They just feel easy. Like, of course you're going to do something. When I was writing the script for this video, I had a couple of examples like, of course you're going to put on underwear, or of course you're going to brush your teeth, or of course you're going to comb your hair. And it occurred to me that those examples don't apply to everybody. And in fact, none of them might apply to you. So I don't want you to get lost in the weeds of my examples to the detriment of understanding my point. There are things you do right now that you trust yourself to do. You already know what self-trust feels like. And you can feel that about the things that will take you to your goal too. Right now, your brain wants to stay the same, so you're struggling to follow through. But with Daily 3 journaling, you'll rewire your brain for success so you can be like, of course I'm writing 500 words today, or of course I'm going for a walk today, or of course I'm posting on social media today, because of course you are. Go watch the masterclass, journal with the Daily 3, and get your goal.